Alright, so this is going to be another episode of Watching Walford, not the podcast, but indeed an episode where we go through the Lola death storyline, we give it a bit of a review, and generally the Lola's funeral episode, we give that our final thoughts, as much as Lola's story, herself is over, but the aftermath will be felt throughout the rest of however long. We've done all the characters that have been touched by the story.
6 months. I'll give it tag.
Yeah. So Piggy, how did you find the funeral episode?
It's weird to say I found it funny because I didn't find it funny, but there were some character designs that I found funny. Like I love how they went to Patsy Kennett. Look, they'll give you 20 grand if you just come in for 5 seconds and just drop flowers and leave. Like I just absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I loved how everyone was dressed appropriately, and then you just had Billy in his little white shirt and he's his khakis, basically. They're all wearing khakis, I think. We had the music was pretty good. Lola is one of the few characters that got a second theme after Julia's theme, which is pretty good to see because I didn't want just Jay crying and it's like.
Yeah. I suppose let's just before we get into all this, I'll just kind of this episode kind of went through Billy this week's been struggling and is struggling to feel like he's been enough for Lola. So at all point, he's been snapping at everyone, he's been getting angry, he's been getting sad, he's been getting like upset. And we kind of got to see how different people showed their grief. Like Jay spent Monday's episode just getting absolutely sloshed at the bar. Jay and Phil ended up getting Billy as he was visiting Jamie's grave. Obviously, Jamie Mitchell, his nephew, I believe, or something. Eventually they talked him round. They got him to the funeral. They all did their speeches. Jay had a nice, from the heart speech about love and how, you should, grab it whilst it's still there. Lexi had a nice speech just essentially saying, my mum is my hero, which, we both pretty much said, man, the actress of Lexi is doing a great job, despite being fairly young. Has done a really fantastic job at portraying someone who just lost their mum. And what else happened at the funeral? I don't think, not particularly much. Patsy Kensit came back, and by Patsy Kensit we mean Emma Harding, Lola's mum. She showed up, she gave a big bunch of flowers, and then she fucked back off again.
I know we're supposed to feel sad, but I think we ultimately both felt like it was a waste of a return. Just pop in 5 seconds and leave.
Well, I suppose it's just more a statement showing that she is gonna her stuff's not done.
No, I understand that, but it's a waste of a paycheck in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just pop in here for 5 fucking seconds. I understand if it was real life, I understand, but the BBC isn't that rich. I don't think.
Come on.
Oh, they are.
Biggest broadcasting company in the UK.
I understand they are rich, but you don't have to spend that money on Patsy Kennett. You could have just had someone deliver the flowers and just put her name on it, from Emma Harding. Love you, mom. Love you, mom. That would be weird. Love your daughter. Blah blah blah. And then Billy's like, "Who got the flowers?" And then Jay's like, "I think we know." And then I think that would have been better than just her popping in "Hello, bye again, back to America. I'm just a quirky girl."
It's more so it's basic. I know that we've basically sworn off the leaks But I'm also not surprised if there is an inevitable custody battle and Lola and Emma like takes Lexi and says she is better off with me, and then that's how they make the Lexi character exit till she grows up a little bit.
And hopefully the character who played Lexi as a child will return when the child is grown up, because
hopefully it is just kind of the main issue. Just kind of sorry to cut you off there, but the main issue with bringing back someone who like is young is you don't know how they're gonna age, and some people age like fucking like some like fine. It sounds really weird, you know. Basically, sometimes people age and look like a genuine teen or adult, and sometimes people age and they still look 10 years old when they're supposed to be 15.
20.
Like, like, take the reason why Amy Mitchell was recast, was because, well, the previous actress for Amy Mitchell looked about 8 years old and acted 8 years old when they wanted someone a bit more adult. But you know, hopefully things go well. I think she's definitely a capable actress. She would definitely love to see her back. But you know, sometimes you just need. Sometimes the character no longer fits like an image that you want to portray.
What I was gonna say is, if they want to write off Ben again, which they probably don't, but I would love it
personally. But yeah.
But if they do, let's just hypothetically say they do want to write him off. You could have that moment where Ben leaves with Lexi and is like, Jay, you know what you can do to yourself. You have a hand, don't you? Go fuck yourself. And then he leaves with Lexi. That's what I could see. But I know they won't do that because they love Ben now.
Yeah, I personally don't see Ben leaving for a long time. He's very quickly becoming one of the most long-running Ben Mitchell actors. And yes, as much as I dislike the Ben Mitchell character now, used to be my favourite EastEnders character. Now I'm just kind of sit on without having a favourite character. And that's kind of shit. But that's not really the point. The point's about Lola's funeral. Obviously, they had the whole idea that this is supposed to be more like a party than like a wake or a mourn, or people just mourning. But, you know, everybody was dancing, and it felt like everybody except for the close family did kind of was able to move on as such. Everybody was ready to go forward into the future, knowing that, you know what, we don't need to worry about Lola anymore. She's had a good send-off. That's how it felt to all the people. And then you obviously have the quite nice video that Lexi recorded for Jay, where essentially Lola goes, "Listen, right?" Lexi's like, "But what? Why do you love Jay?" And then Lola goes through it as to why she does, and that, you know, she'll always be in his heart, and very sweet, very somber. And if I was less of a not emotional person, probably could have cried there. And especially when they played "You Look Wonderful Tonight" in the funeral after the Margate episode. Lovely stuff. I suppose one thing I'm not gonna harp on with a lot of the criticisms I made about the Lola storyline the last time I made a video like this. But I suppose if you do want that lowdown, there was a video made about a month ago when she actually died, reviewing the storyline and how important it actually is and whether it'll be short-sighted. So go ahead and watch that if you want to. But yeah, carry on, Piggy.
I was going to say, what was your thoughts overall with the storyline? Did you enjoy it or did you not?
I mean, it would be hard to say that I didn't enjoy the storyline because they turned a character who has been, for the most part, forgotten for the past 4 years When Ben's like fucking climbed like Snowdon, climbed the fucking mountain, he's up the peak like fucking 6 times a year. Lola, this is her swan song. This is it. This is the best she's getting. It's the only main storyline that she's really had since she's come back. So, of course, they did a fantastic job with it. And they allowed the actors and the actresses and all of the people, all of the cast to have the freedom to truly explore it and give it the amount of time it deserved. I'll still say that Lola, personally, I think it would be more interesting to have the possibility of bringing her back. Like, I'm not saying you could have done this storyline, but instead of having her die, just say, maybe even go through the, let's say it's a bit too emotional for everyone and everybody's struggling. So let's say she does head off to America with Emma. And, you know, everybody thinks that she's gonna die. They lose contact, so they're like, oh shit, she's dead. But then it just turns out that, like, Emma and Lola just like started to build a really nice life over in America together. And eventually, once the time's right, she could have come back. But ultimately now she's dead, and yet another character who you can't just bring her back anymore. She's fucking dead. So you're gonna have to build up a new character that people are actually gonna like. And we all know that that's a particularly hard task in soaps, because anytime you bring in any new character, people go, she's just like the old character. It's like, well, yeah. Of course. But yeah, there we are. Those are my thoughts, Piggy. What are your thoughts?
I do agree with that, because, like I said, we have a lot of characters from the 80s and 90s who didn't die or died off screen. They can be like, well, they can't come back, they're dead. And then basically the writer just goes, right. And I've got 2 words for you since you said they're dead. Oh, you're saying they're dead? No, I'm saying, fuck off. And they basically just bring them back anyways. But there's no one from the 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah.
I know you're going to probably say like Max Branning, Shirley Carter, and Mick Carter. But there's no one really from the 2010s and 2000s that you can bring back. Yes, there's Grant, but
Yeah.
like Grant at this moment is like a soggy orange. Will you eat it? Yes. But would it be nice? No. It's been there in the sun for 3 days. It's just gone mouldy. You have nothing else to eat, so you might as well eat the orange. But then you regret eating the orange because you're on the toilet for 5 hours having the absolute shits. Like, you know what I mean? He's not. Like,
I mean,
I think his character has run the course, is what I'm saying.
yeah, no, I do agree.
Mick Carter, obviously.
Definitely needed a break.
Yeah, he needed a break. Thank God. Obviously, when he comes back, he'll have the whole, I'm not dead, but he might have amnesia. And then he'd be like, who? And then he just points at George Knight, to quote Ricky Gervais. He goes, what are you doing here? And not in a racist way. Because everybody loves him. And then, basically, George is like, I'm the husband of Elaine, blah, blah, blah. And then they hug, they kiss, they have sex, and just have a lovely time. Obviously, Shirley will probably come back within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if she... Basically, my current theory for Shirley is she comes back after Christmas, kind of... Well, she either comes back with Dean ahead of Christmas, or she comes back in the aftermath of Christmas, like, guys, where the fuck is Dean? And everybody's like, I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, we have Shirley and Dean. I was going to mention Dean. We have half of Mick's family that you could bring back.
Yeah.
But again, bringing them back is kind of like moldy bread. Is there a point? No. Will you eat it? Yes, because you've nothing else to eat.
Yeah, I suppose just I can also think of like countless names who have all died off unceremoniously and like very short-sighted in like the last good decade and then like and a half or so. there's so many cool characters that you could bring back, but they just never particularly want to. And it's kind of a missed opportunity.
Obviously, I want Heather back, but Ash doesn't.
Heather was shit.
Hashtag bring back Heather. Don't know how you bring her back, but bring her back.
So, all right. Do you want me to play a fat idiot? Yeah. Done. Okay. Oh, you don't appear to be acting, do you, Heather? No.
Obviously the two names I forgot was Ricky Butcher and Janine Carter.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can bring them back with Tiffany, and the other people.
Liam.
Liam.
Probably recast Liam because Liam was recast as a prick.
And what the fuck was Janine's daughter called?
Charlotte.
Yeah, you can obviously bring them back, but we're not on about that. We're not about who we can bring back. But like, yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity just to have her, Lexi, and Emma leave to America, and then you have like Nick Carter all over again, where you presume she's dead, and then when Lexi's like 15 and Danielle has done all the acting she wants to do, you can be like, well, we'll just give you a boatload of money.
Yeah, and like at this point, you have Jay, like he's got a new family, he's married, he's got kids, he's just moved on because he couldn't stay in the past. He couldn't just keep living in the past. He had to move on. And then Lola comes in like, Jay, I thought you said you were always, I don't know, like, yeah, I suppose we did digress for a little bit there, but the point is, Lola was always an underused character, and it's quite upsetting to know that all she was good for was two storylines, the Lexi custody storyline and her death. It's pretty rough to just know that she was on the show for like probably a combined like nearly a decade, right? She was in the show for a good couple of years. Let's just find this. She was there in 2011 to 2015, and then came back from 2019 to 2023. So that's what 8 years.
Yeah.
And she just didn't get to do much, did she?
No.
It's just the biggest issue. And obviously we know that when Lexi grows up, Lexi's obviously going to be a lot like Lola, and it's going to, you know, she can like start a family and do all that stuff. Bit forward thinking there. Gonna have to wait a good decade or two. But yeah, I suppose if we have one final message, it's just we appreciate the Lola character. We're glad that she got a genuine send-off, because with how she was treated when she was there was a genuine chance she just like died and got a duff. You know, she got Julia's theme, she got Forever Young, but like a somber, like acousticy type version. So she got a really good send-off that she probably didn't earn. But will go down as one of the very like strong, like fun characters that will probably be missed. Like I'll probably put her in that category with the characters who probably shouldn't have been killed off, like the 2010s characters like Abby Branning, like Derek Branning, like Michael Moon. These sorts of characters who probably shouldn't have been killed off, but they were. And it's just a shame.
To give my thoughts, because I didn't really give my thoughts on the storyline, just before I say that, I can definitely see Emma coming back with Lexi in about 5 years or 10 years when they want to bring in the actor. Or they might just can her and leave her in the bin for like 20 years, and then when she's moldy, just take her out and be like, shh, shh, shh. There we go, get the smell off you. But yeah, my thoughts on the storyline is I think it was a pretty well done storyline. Obviously my nanny had cancer and dementia. So I think they did hammer home like that cancer does kill you from the inside out, and they weren't just like, yeah, so like just pretend you're dying. That's all. Just I know you have cancer, but like fuck that. Just pretend you're dying. But no, they actually went, okay, we'll research this, we'll do that, we'll Google it, we don't Google it, but we'll go to professionals and we'll actually kind of talk about it and figure out how we can actually write it properly. So I'm pretty glad they did that. I understand for the next 6 months we're probably going to get the Mick Carter, as I call it, where people will mention her in name or in conversation. Like Lexi starts being sassy, and then Ben goes, "So just like your mother, Lola, ha ha ha," and then Jay's like, "Oh, stop it, you," and then rubs his knuckles against his head. And we'll see scenes like that. I do wonder how they're going to bring in Emma again, because I feel like there's a lot of untouched potential there. Because obviously she missed the funeral. I know she was there for 5 seconds, but she missed the funeral. She missed her death. Like, there's going to be a lot of, like, why weren't you here? You are a useless bitch. Why did you not show up? And then she'd be like, it was just too hard. It was just too hard, lad. You don't understand. It was just too hard. And then obviously they'll all get mad at her, and then that will spiral and spiral and spiral, and then blah blah blah. You get what I mean. I am happy that she got 2 themes, technically 3, even though one of them wasn't an end theme. She got "You Look Beautiful," Julia's theme, and the 3rd song, which I don't know.
Forever Young.
Forever Young. So yeah, she got 3 themes, which not many characters get, and I was pretty happy with that. So I'm glad that her arc is kind of over, because we can kind of move on now and wait till the next person who dies, probably at Christmas, or probably before Christmas. It might be.
I think there's an October death coming. I'll be honest.
I can also see Reese's wife dying at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she'll die this year or next year, but she will die, because there's no way they're keeping her on the payroll for the next 5 years just to lay in a bed like.
Oh.
Sorry. But yeah, that was my thoughts. Do you have any closing thoughts before I wrap this up?
No, all good. Thank you, Lola. That is all.
Yeah. And sorry to plug our stuff, but follow us on Twitch, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Watching Walford. Follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Watching Walford. Follow Ash on these social medias, Twitter and Twitch at Watching Walford, or not Watching Walford, at Aqua Dreams. Sorry. You will find him doing funny stuff like cream pieing himself. That was funny. Wearing a dress and being sexy in it.
Exactly.
Or you can have a look at yesterday, where he was, or 2 days ago, whenever this comes out, where he was wearing a big massive tank top and you could see his guns. Like, so yeah, make sure you follow us on all these platforms. Thank you, Lola, and hopefully they don't decide to wreck on your dead in 5 years' time and be like, well, we're taking you out of the freezer, get the hairdryer, and then they blow you off and bring you back. But they won't. So thank you, and we will see you in the next one.